Sometimes it's not about going fast. It's about going to space. F9! Released in 2021 and is directed by Justin Lin, who has also directed such films like Annapolis, Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, Fast and Furious, Fast 5, Fast and Furious 6, and Star Trek Beyond. And this movie is starring Vin Diesel, of course. I mean, how else is he gonna make himself appear like a superhero to the entire world? I mean, he needs these movies. Michelle Rodriguez, Tyrese Gibson, Chris Ludacris Bridges, Nathalie Emmanuel, Jordana Brewster, Sun Kang, Helen Mirren, Kurt Russell, kind of, Charlize Theron, and John Cena. Which is very hard to realize that John Cena is in this movie because I couldn't see him the entire time. Dominic Toretto is trying to have a nice, peaceful, and quiet life with Letty and his newborn son, who is not Letty's. But because he is an international superhero spy, the news of a brand new mission comes a-knockin', and he gets his whole team together to save who was ever trying to take down Mr. Nobody. But surprise, surprise, Dominic has a hidden brother who is going after the thing that Mr. Nobody had so that he can control things around the world and take it over. How? How is this franchise still going? How are we finding new things for this team to do? And when I say new things, I just mean like more of the same old shit, just another day type thing. Because we've seen this before in the other later Fast and Furious films. Definitely not the very first couple of Fast and Furious movies, because in those movies, Dominic Toretto was just a robber. He was stealing DVD players. But now, I guess he and everyone else on his team are like super independent spies who can shoot fantastically and have great hand-to-hand combat skills to take out other super secret agents all over the world. Good God, my brain hurts. I don't understand. And the reason why I'm watching F9 is because it's the only one that I haven't seen in this entire series before the new Fast and Furious movies, Fast X, comes out this weekend. I'm just baffled. Like, how are we still getting these? They're absolutely ridiculous. They're created, they're crafted, they're produced just to, like, tickle Vin Diesel's balls, basically. Like, fluff him up and make him feel good about himself. That's the only reason these movies exist. It makes Vin Diesel out to seem like he is the most jacked, the most ripped, the most badass and indestructible person, both in the movie and outside the movie, just in the entire world. Every scene that we get of him, he has his cut-off sleeve shirt, and he's constantly flexing. Like, he's standing over top of his small little boy, and he's trying to give him, like, fatherly advice, but you can tell, like, his fists completely clasp, and his triceps are bulging out, just to make it appear like he is so goddamn ripped. I definitely understand why Dwayne Johnson stepped away from this franchise. Maybe we'll see him back, and maybe Vin Diesel will get rid of that little boyish, diva-ish ego that he has about himself, but I definitely understand why The Rock was like, no, I can make things on my own. I don't need the little diva boy Vin Diesel over here. And it's also evident in all the stunts that he does. Dominic Toretto, it has his car get caught by a line on a small little wooden drawbridge, and that swings his car to the other side of the river to where he can now detach it somehow from the rope, and he's fine on the road over there, and he topples like 100 times down to the ground, and not a single scratch on him. The only time that Vin Diesel bleeds in this movie is when John Cena punches him a couple of times. But in the car crashes, the multiple car crashes that he's in, not a single scratch on him. I also spent the first third of this movie wondering, who's watching your son, Dominic? You guys left your son at the farm. Who is watching your little boy? We later find out that, oh, well, it's Brian. Brian's staying behind and watching the kids. Okay, so we're not going to kill off his character in the movies. We're just going to make him the invisible babysitter for the rest of the series. Okay, whatever you say, guys. The movie's just ridiculous. It's not terrible by any means. The action scenes are actually pretty entertaining and enjoyable. Tyrese is just, he's such a lovable guy. He's so innocent, and he's so not as intelligent as these other characters are. He's always there to get on the radio and be like, what? What are we doing? You mean we're gonna drive over 40,000 mines? What? You mean we're going up to space? What happens up there? And once he figures it out every single time, I just want to reach through the screen and just pat him on the shoulder and go like, yeah, bud, you got it. You got it. Good job. Pretty sure that's one of the reasons why this movie got made, is because everyone was making the joke that the Fast and Furious is now going to go to space for the next one. I mean, what else can they do? And here they are. They went to space. Very ridiculous. Very stupid. Not logical at all. But you know what? What in this franchise is logical? So yeah, let's send up the little sports car up to space with a rocket. Of course. And you also have Charlize Theron in here, who I like. She's become like the big baddie of the series now. I hope she makes it out of F10 and we see her in F11, which supposedly is going to be the last one. I don't know. I heard that F10 was supposed to be the last one, but now I hear that F11 is the finale. Whatever. But I like her little Moe from Three Stooges haircut in this movie. Like, that was a choice. It was a decision. You pissed off your stylist that day. And we also have Han back, who died in Tokyo Drift, but then came back already in Fast 5. But supposedly, like, Tokyo Drift takes place after F6, I think. So we haven't seen him in the last couple of movies. So he's alive here. He's already come back, but now he's come back again. Whoa. When's Gal Gadot gonna come back? I mean, if Han can come back, if Letty can come back, then we can get Gal Gadot back in this franchise. Does it need her? No, but, I mean, why not? Let's just do it. The movie's pretty forgettable. It has a MacGuffin that is pretty forgettable. It's this little hexagonal light sphere thing that can control things over the world. I don't know, weaponry. They talked about it, and I totally just spaced out. It's a thing that's gonna affect the world in some bad way. That's all you need to know. The action scenes are fine. There's just a lot of, like, coincidences and a lot of just asking a lot of the audience to suspend your disbelief of the impossibilities that you're seeing on screen. And the more you ask of that from the audience, in my opinion, the more I check out, because it's like, okay, come on. I'll allow one, maybe a couple, but you're asking for like 20 different things where you have to go like, okay, coincidences? Meh, who cares? Physics? What's that? Vin Diesel a human being? Obviously not. The man doesn't bleed. F9, definitely not one of the worst of the series, but it's one of the most forgettable. It's just another thing. It feels very much like Fast and Furious, the fourth one. I couldn't tell you what happens in the fourth one. It's just one of those random ones. This one felt like a random one to get to another thing. Even though we went up to space in this one, I don't know where you go from there. I think the only thing that we can do now is Autobots and Decepticons. If that were to happen, maybe in F11, let's do it. I'm all in on that one. I'm gonna give F9 2 out of 5 Blu-rays. So guys, have you seen F9? What did you think about it? Where does it fit in your ranking of all the Fast and Furious films? Whatever you thought, comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell. See you the next time I release next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel, but in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.